This video, I'm going to be showing you how to do an open eye lash map. So the open eye really lifts and opens the eye. So there's the end result. You can see the before and the after, and you can see how much that just lifts and opens up the eye. So it's really great for this client who just wanted to look a bit more awake and fresh every day, and she has almond-shaped eyes and they're not too close together or too far apart, so it really works as the perfect lash map for her. Now, the open eye lash map is typically not the best for clients with really round eyes because it's just going to accentuate that. Sometimes round eyes are better with something like a cat eye. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is on her eye pads, I've done all of my prepping, priming, cleansing, everything. I'm going to create my first two sections. So I'm just going to section out where the last lash ends on the outer corner and where the last lash is on the inner corner. So just to section that off because I don't need any lash mapping outside of those two corners. And then I've found the center of the eye by seeing where exactly her pupil is located in the center of her eye. That's the area I want to really accentuate and lift up with an open eye lash map. So I've sectioned that off. So I've put a line on each side of where the center of her eye is because I know that's where I want my longest lengths to be. Now I'm just going to split those two outer sections in half again so that we can gradually work down with our length so that it's not really, doesn't look really noticeable that we're going down from, say, a 12mm to an 8mm really drastically. You want it to look natural as well. And then I'm just adding a couple extra sections for the inner and outer corners. I always want to make sure I'm putting the right length on for those inner and outer corners. I don't want them to be too long. Now, I measured her lashes and they were a 9mm longest in length. So the longest length of extension I'm going to put on her is going to be an 11mm. So all in the middle section, I'm going to be using my longest lengths to lift open that eye. And then I'm going to graduate down from a 10. I've added another line here so it's not too drastic. I'm going down to a 9. And then that outer corner where those little lashes are, they can really only support an 8mm. So in those inner and outer corners, I have to use shorter lengths. So her outer corners are quite small. So that's why I've put an 8mm. You have to adjust this just according to your client. You can use this lash map as a starting place, but depending on their lashes, for example, her inner corners were a little bit longer than her outer corners. So that's why I did an 8mm just on those last few lashes because that's all they can really support. And on the inner corners, I was able to do 9mm because her inner corner lashes were a bit longer and stronger. And since you're graduating down and doing this really gradually, it won't be noticeable in the end result. So while I'm applying all of her lashes, I'm just making sure that I'm applying according to the lash map and checking to make sure that, you know, the lashes are long enough and strong enough to support the lengths that I've put down on the lash map here. Now you might have to make a few adjustments as you go. In this, I like to use personally just a pink pen, just a gel pen kind of thing. That's my favorite to use. The Sharpie can be used as well, but I don't like using a Sharpie just because of the fumes. I find it smells kind of bad, but it's totally up to you if you and your client are fine with it. I know a lot of people use Sharpies on their gel pads to put down the lash map, but I prefer using a pink pen. It's nice and noticeable on the white, but I don't have to worry about, you know, the smell and everything with the Sharpie. I also find if you're going to use a Sharpie, make sure it's really fine tip, otherwise you can run out of room there. So you just want to go through and finish applying all of those lashes in this open eye lash map. And make sure you're customizing it to the client. So for example, if you're in a section that is for, says 11mm, but the lash is just shorter than the rest, it's at a stage where it can handle a lash extension, but it can't necessarily handle an 11. You can make a judgment call there. If you need to add a couple of 10s in the mix, it's not going to be overly noticeable. The most important thing you can do while lash mapping is just making sure that your client's lashes are healthy and safe. And then once you've applied all those lashes, you can do all of your fluffing with that and file through and make sure that everything is good and perfect to go before you do your final reveal. And if you need a starting place to go by with your lash maps, just check out Eslashes.com. We have a bunch of free lash maps that you can use, and they can all be customized based on your client, and those are free downloads on the site. So there is the open eye lash map, and you can see just how much that lifts and opens her eye, and it's just such a beautiful look on her. The open eye lash map I really love on mature clients as well. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below.